The Fragments of Love, the Epilogue. When Seasons Change. A story by Sammy Kay. Lena Gray makes the 30-minute trip to Vanessa's house in 20 minutes. It's not really a surprise because Lena pretty much always drives her white Corvette in the way that a Corvette should be driven. But tonight is different. It's different because she prayed almost the entire trip. Obviously, her angels are protecting her. And in her heart, she knows that God and Vanessa's angels are protecting her. Marcus's call was not a complete surprise. Vanessa has been in a troubled place for several months. And the tension in the house earlier tonight was thick. Oh, the love was there, but there was still a huge sense of sadness. The children were a little bit more reserved than they usually are. The fact that they were happy to be in this environment so filled with love probably kept them from feeling the full impact of what the adults were feeling. When she pulls up into the driveway, she looks up at the beautiful home that represents the bond and the love of this family, of which she is a part of. Vanessa is her best friend, but they have been best friends for over 50 years. Their mothers have known each other, and they are best friends. Um, or maybe I should have said they have been best friends, and they've known each other since they were in elementary school. So the connection goes way past friendship. And it is a blessing that they all are thankful for. Lena uses her key. Yes, they do have keys to each other's homes, and they know the codes to the alarms everywhere. She goes in, disarms the alarm, and heads upstairs. She doesn't rush because she knows whatever it is that's on the other side of that door will be heavy. And she knows that she cannot deal with it the way it should be dealt with without God's guidance. So before she turns the handle to open the door, she says one last quick prayer for now. When she opens the door, she automatically looked toward the bed, expecting Vanessa to be either snuggled under the covers or sprawled out across the duvet or something. But she's not there. She turns toward the sitting area and the kitchenette, and she sees that Vanessa is sitting at the table holding a pill bottle. She looks so out of it that for a moment, Lena is afraid that she has taken pills from this bottle more than she should have. Before she can let her fear be voiced, Vanessa looks at her and blinks and sees her for the first time. She speaks. What are you doing here, Lena? Why are you asking me that question with that attitude? Am I not welcome? Don't play, Lena. Play? Girl, you know I don't play. What are you talking about? I'm here. Why do you think I'm here? Marcus called you. Yes, he did. He did call me. He called me and he told me that you needed me. He actually called and asked me to come and stay with you because you needed me. I can see that he was right. But from your attitude, you don't want me to be here, but you know, I don't care. And he probably doesn't either. Not right now. He shouldn't care, Lena. He shouldn't. I have royally messed up my life. And I know that Marcus has to hate me. He has to hate me. Because if the tables were turned, I would hate him. Well, let's take a closer look at what you just said. You say you've ruined your life royally, I think you said. You're here in this beautiful room, sitting in this chair, holding this pill bottle. So you're alive. That's something. Um, your husband did make a point to call me and again ask me to come and see if you were okay, or well, he asked me to come and stay with you because you needed me. That doesn't sound like someone who hates you. And no matter what has happened, Marcus is not you, Vanessa. I don't really think there's anything you can do that would make him hate you. But you're right. You're right. You probably would for a while. But Marcus is as much a part of you as you are of him. That I do know. Sometimes love is not enough. You can lose other things out of the relationship, like trust and respect. There's no way he can trust or respect me right now. Okay, I can agree with that. I can. But I believe that love is the anchor. The respect and the trust and appreciation and all the other stuff that comes up. It comes around the love, you know? When I grow up, I want just some of what you and Marcus have, something like that. So I can't let you sit here and minimize that importance. I can't do that. So, what I'm going to do is go and run you a really nice hot bubble bath. Vanessa's head turns, well, sharply toward Lena, and she says, "Lena, I don't need a bath. I mean, I may need a bath, but I'm not. I don't want a bath." Well, Vanessa, I think you do. Don't you remember one of the first lessons that we learned from Sarah Gray and Tina Morgan? And what was that? That when things are rough or we lose our way, one of the first things that we should do when the opportunity arises is take a good hot bath or a good hot shower and clean our bodies and start fresh. Don't you remember that? Don't you remember all of the times that we have been scrubbed from head to toe? I'm not washing your hair and I'm not giving you a bath, okay? But I'm gonna run the water. It'll be nice. And then you're gonna sit there and you're gonna do those things for yourself. And I'm gonna freshen up this bed. And if you don't want to lay down, we can sit and talk. We can do something. We will do something. We don't have to talk about anything that you don't want to talk about. You know that's just not what we do. I have no more questions for you. We value our questions for each other. That has never changed and it's not going to change tonight. But you are going to get in the bathtub. You know, what is that they say? You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. I can take you to this bathtub. I can't make you bathe, but I can make sure you get in the tub. And I'm big enough. I'm bigger than you. I can make that happen. I'm beginning to think that Marcus called you over here to punish me because you are really stretching my nerves right now. Girl, I don't care. I do not care. I could be in my bed right now. But no, you and Marcus over here with drama. Do you know we are almost 60 years old? We are too old for drama. But that's okay. That is okay. That is what family is for. And a little drama keeps our blood flowing. So you need to get up and find your night clothes or loungewear or whatever. And I'm going to run this bath water. And that's what she does. She can feel Vanessa's eyes rolling in her head as she watches her walk toward the huge sauna like bathroom. She has one too. But if anybody needs to be in a relaxing environment right now, her friend does. Is it going to help her heart? No. But only God can do that. But he's here. He is here. Marcus Calumet, the husband, November 20th. Roughly 6 weeks have passed since I returned from New York. Without a doubt, it has been the longest 6 weeks of my life. When Vanessa was pregnant with our first child, I was filled with an equal amount of excitement and almost debilitating fear. I thought that period of helplessness had to be one of the most challenging times any responsible man could possibly have. Watching my wife's tiny body stretch and change to accommodate our child was both fascinating and frustrating. My most important job was to protect her from pain and harm. I could not take on the pain of bringing our child into the world. And I felt as if I had failed her. The same was true with our second child. Even though I had been through the experience before, and it's still hard to watch. Now, once again, I could not protect her from pain and harm, and she's not bringing a child into the world either. Yes, she has to own the choices that she made. Her choices resulted in serious life-changing consequences. But I have taken the time to reflect on myself. What could I have done differently? What did I miss? What could I have done to make this easier for her? Did I not show her enough love? Was I not tuned in enough to her? Was I too focused on my work? Was I too focused on the kids? On all of the irons that we have in the fire? I don't know. From the moment she mentioned the branding of her body, my professional instinct kicked in. I will find out everything there is to know about the person who left his signature on the body of my wife. I had to put those feelings on hold for now. You see, I know myself, and I know how deep my anger runs, how strong my anger is. If I found him now, I would not be able to control what I would do, and I know that. I don't even feel bad about it, which means I need to pray about it, and I will. And I'm giving myself time to do that. He's not a priority now. But there will be consequences. That's a fact. The night that I left the house, I drove to the ranch with my head filled with confusion. I thought about getting drunk, but I knew it would be impossible to get drunk enough to take away my pain. I sat on the wide steps leading up to the big wraparound porch, and I cried. I have no idea how long I stayed in one position. Time was of no importance. I know I was stiff when I stood up. Finally, I was able to focus on the beautiful moonlit night that surrounded me. I could even see a few fireflies circling the steps. I remember as a child catching fireflies and putting them in a jar with a top. And even after I put holes in the top to give them some air, they still died. Is that what I have done to my wife? Did I put her in a glass jar with air to breathe, but I still smothered her? Did I do that? I took a long, deep breath. Only then did I realize that this was the first genuinely free breath I had taken in over a month. My chest had almost been constricted the entire time, or at least that's what it felt like. I got up and slowly moved to the porch. I removed the heavy cover from one of the oversized loungers, and after remembering to shake it really good, I sat down. I entered into a deep conversation with the Lord. A conversation that lasted until I could see the rising sun. I smiled. But I always smile when I am blessed enough to see the sun rise and set. But I'm also reminded of what our Father said to us. The sun will rise in the morning. I went into the house, took another shower, and fell into the bed. I know I didn't remember to shake the covers, so hopefully there were no little critters being disturbed. Apparently not, because I slept until 6 p.m. that evening. I woke up starving, which was a good sign. I prepared a nice dinner, cleaned the kitchen, and called my wife to tell her I would be home the following day. I spent the evening just praying, counting my blessings, and trying to prepare for what would come next. When I returned home the next morning, we talked until early evening. That was no surprise, because even if all of this hadn't been going on a normal day, we could talk that long. We never ran out of things to talk about. Although this time it was focused around the wrong thing, it just felt good to sit there and talk to my wife. Loud noises from both of our stomachs forced us to finally stop long enough to eat a decent meal. I don't know what we had, and we cooked it together, but I think it was one of the best meals that I've ever eaten. We slept in our bed together, but I could not bring myself to touch her. I did not intend to cause her any more pain, but my pain was still very, very raw. Very, very real. I had to actively ask God to help me heal enough to hold my wife. I understood how much I needed to feel the beat of her heart against my own. But I couldn't do it by myself. I could not do it without God's help, and I know that. I knew that. Just like I know it now. We have always been able to communicate well, but we agreed that counseling would add another dimension to our dialogue. Even our prayer time together became more meaningful and important to each of us. We had put God over to the side, not in the back, but it's almost like we were headed in the direction of putting a lot of things in front of Him. And neither one of us wanted to do that. We're too old. We've been through too much. And He is too good to us to do that. I had forgiven my wife before I left New York, even before I knew what had happened. When love is deep enough, there are things that just touch your core. After 3 weeks, we were able to come together as one. We reached for each other. It was not planned, it just happened. There was no you come to me or I come to you. We came together. We were home. We've always been home for each other. People say home is where the heart is. Well, I think that's true. I know that's true. She is the keeper of my heart. And I hope and pray that I am the keeper of hers. Yes, there was a time when I would have said that with more confidence. I'm working to get back to that place. The experience was beyond makeup sex or mere lovemaking. The merging of our bodies seemed to heal the wounds of our spirits. The small scars on her body were still visible. But our merciful God took away the full impact of their presence. Only He could do that. For that alone, I will be eternally thankful. Eternally. But He blessed us far beyond our prayers. Our marriage was indeed fragmented